Welcome back to NCG Reptiles, and today we're gonna
talk about how to get your gecko to grow.
5 ways, right? Kind of like those other YouTubers. It's kind of funny. No, but for real, we got like five points in how we got. We got so many like people asking us how in the world did we get our last cappuccino to grow that big in a year, right? So it was multiple people like, wow, your gecko grew really fast in a year. Some people are like, man, my gecko's been 10 grams and it's been a year. Now, so let's just tell them how we did it. We're gonna keep it simple too. We're gonna try to keep it as simple as it can, and that way it's not magic. Or it could be magic, right? I think you know what we do. We spread magic powder on the geckos and they just grow in a year, right? Like, wouldn't that be great? And I sell it. You go on my website, and I will sell you the magic potion so that you can have magic growing gecko food, right? Okay, no, all serious, off real, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go over the 5 things. Well, let's we also have a special gecko here, right? So we did an unboxing. This was 9 months ago, okay? So the last gecko we did was a cappuccino, and that cappuccino was 12 months. We've had that, and then it grew to it was actually 55 grams. So when we measured it after the video, I mentioned it was 50 grams, but it was actually 55. And then people are like, oh my goodness, how did you get your gecko to grow so big? So here's another gecko that we got. It was an unboxing we did. It was about 9 months ago, so not quite a year. So this gecko's still kind of growing. I didn't really weigh it. I should have weighed it. I should have weighed the gecko. Maybe we can do that on camera and see where it's at, right? So we can see where the progress is. And that gecko was not fired up. I'm trying to get it to fire up right now. Hopefully. So we covered the gecko up, and we just did a light mist. And sometimes if you wait 10-15 minutes after you cover this gecko in the dark, it will fire up for you. So hopefully we got this gecko fired up, or at least somewhat fired up, because when we did the unboxing, that gecko was not fired up, and it was going through a shed. So it just looked like a gray gecko. So this is an awesome gecko. Fires up, fire engine red, like super red. So hopefully we can kind of get that on camera today. And you can see from 9 months on that last video. So make sure you watch the last video. I mean the video from 9 months ago. It says Red Crested Gecko, right? Check it out. You can see how small and the gecko was in shed. So now this is 9 months later, and we're gonna give you 5 tips, how we get our geckos to grow. And it's just us. Everybody else has their own magic potion, right? Every breeder's like, just pound the bugs and it'll grow. Yeah, maybe it does, right? But we don't do that. I'll just show you what we do, and then everybody has a different way of growing. This is what works here. This is what we do here. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Drum roll. Come on, give him a drum roll.
Okay.
Oh. All right, okay, let's not make gecko tails drop. I'm just kidding. All right, let's get this girl out. So this is our red fire engine female crested gecko. She's somewhat fired up. Okay, she's a little fired up. Not all the way. When she fires up all the way, you're going to see how beautiful she is. So maybe I'll cut some pictures in this video so you guys can see, right? So, okay, you can grab that. So what we do here is, right, we love taking notes, right? And we got notes, right? This is what we do. Okay, so I'm gonna get the gecko out. No, grab your thing. I'm gonna get the gecko out and show everybody our 9 month of owning this gecko. It's not 9 months old, but we got this gecko probably. I don't know if I measured it on the video last one, but I think it was somewhere around 8 grams, maybe. I'm guessing under 10 grams when we got this gecko for sure. So now this gecko's well over. I'm gonna have to measure it. You know what? Let's just weigh her in right now, right? I'm gonna grab it. So what is the first thing we're gonna talk about getting our gecko to grow?
Food.
Food, yes, good job. Do you know anything about food? Can you tell anybody what we've learned about food? Just if you remember anything. Do you remember anything?
Food helps the geckos get stronger, and
what kind of food do we give our geckos?
We give them bugs and And,
Yes.
Like
Crested Gecko diet?
yeah, crocodile. Crocodile diet.
The powder diet, right?
Yeah, the powder.
Okay, let's see if we can get her out of here. Oh yeah, she's out.
He's out.
Okay, let me see if I can. Here, you want to move this for us? So we give our geckos powder diet, Pangea, and we give dubias and crickets. Those are the 3 things we give our geckos, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, she is a little bit on the
So
jumpy side. Hold on. Okay. Oh, let's see if I can get her to calm down. All right, she's somewhat fired up. She's definitely not fired up all the way, but you can tell that this gecko is. I try to get her fired up for you guys, but she definitely.
she's on the
Camera. Is it still recording? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So baby geckos, we feed the crested gecko diet every day. Every day in her bowl, in her food, she gets crested gecko diet.
Yeah.
Until they're about 10 grams. So every day you feed your baby gecko.
She's a little crazy.
She's
right
a little
now.
crazy right now. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to
Weigh her.
weigh her.
Ah.
She's up here. I got her.
You got her.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then once a week, we give her bugs. So baby geckos until 10 grams, we give them bugs. I might have to put her away. She's just a little crazy right now.
Yeah. She was sticking to the thing.
All right, let's see.
Okay,
Wait, get your hand up. Wow,
41
41 grams, guys. So she's 41 grams. All right.
Yeah.
Let me see. Maybe she could stay right here for a minute. Should I put the camera down?
So
Here, let's see. You guys can see her. All right, this is our crazy girl.
yeah.
41 grams.
So
So we feed. Okay, let me just go over.
okay.
We said it like 10 times already.
Yeah.
Baby geckos to 10 grams. We give crested gecko diet every day, and we feed bugs once a week. Now, after 10 grams, what we do is we feed crested gecko diet every other day, and then we look at the diet. If that diet is not being eaten up, we substitute it for bugs. So we make sure that the gecko's basically eating all the time.
Yeah.
So if there's no crested gecko diet eaten, then we go ahead and we
She's gonna probably drop her too.
no, she's gonna be fine. Okay, here.
Oh, she almost jumped on the camera.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if
On the camera.
she's giving us a moment here, so that everybody could see her. How awesome she is.
I don't think she wants anybody to see.
No, she's being shy.
She's a little shy.
Oh, there
She,
she is.
she wanted me.
She does want you. Okay, get her by the camera. Oh. She is.
It would be funny if she pooped on me again.
No, she ain't gonna poop on you again. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let me
we're
grab her. I'll grab her.
You grab her? Okay. Before she runs away.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
All right. She's good. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put her away.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll go over the rest of everything.
Yeah.
Because she's a little cuckoo right now. Right?
I was gonna put her in the tub.
No, I'm putting her in her tank. So that way she can calm down.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's get back to this video. Alright, sorry guys.
So,
Okay, so now it's just us for now.
yeah. So,
Alright guys, I hope you just like us. So
Yeah.
typically what we do is we have the gecko for you, but she is
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
yeah,
Right?
crazy.
41 grams. Alright, so the second thing we do when they're after their 10 grams, we feed them crested gecko diet every other day. We look at the food bowl.
Yeah.
If the food bowl is empty, so they'll eat their food. I have an example right here. This is a eaten food bowl. So right now that's a great thing. They'll eat it. Sometimes they won't eat all the food, and the bowl will be full. You see, wow, these geckos actually eat all their food. All right, here. So here's one, and there you go. So there's still a lot of food in here. So with this gecko, since we know this gecko didn't eat a lot of food, and I put the food bowl aside, and there's another trick why I pull them out. I'll show you in another video. So, but anyways, there's a reason why I do it like this. So when I see that, what I do is I either pick dubia roaches or I pick crickets, and I put just a couple. You don't have to go crazy putting a whole bunch of gecko crickets in there or dubias and be like, oh my goodness, I gotta feed this gecko. As long as you eat one or two, I try to put 3 or 4 in there.
Yeah.
They it triggers them to want to eat. So the next time I put the food bowl in there, they eat the food again. So it kind of go back and forth with the crickets and the insects.
Their food needs to be
Yeah.
of their really eating. It needs to be empty.
Yeah, yeah. So they're eating it, food. You're good.
Like
Put
the
some
one
more.
we just
So
showed you.
until they're about anywhere from 14
Yeah.
to like 20 grams,
Yeah.
right? This is what we're doing. We're feeding every other day, and we're putting bugs in there.
Yeah.
And and it's not like, oh, we gotta feed the bugs once a week. At that point, we just kind of gauge
Yeah.
how they're eating the powder. So that should make it easy. So babies feed every day, and then once a week you get them bugs. When they're past 10 grams, what I do is I feed them every other day, and if they're not eating the gecko diet, if I see it drying up and there's nothing licked in there, I throw some bugs in there. That's pretty much it, and then they start growing. Now, number 2, finally, let's get to number
Yeah.
2.
It says keep. No wait. Yeah.
Two.
Keep at 75.
Yeah. So
75.
So what she's wrote down there is we keep the temperature. Temperature is extremely important if you want your geckos to grow. I feel like what works for us is not going to work for everybody, but here in our where we grow our geckos, 75 degrees, 75, 76 degrees is ideal. My
Yeah,
geckos,
75
our geckos,
degrees.
when we keep them at 75 degrees to 76 degrees, they grow. They just grow. If they're at 70, they don't grow very fast. They
Yeah.
grow kind of slow. If they're above that, you know what? I don't do that. You know why? Did I ever tell you why I don't keep the gecko room above 75 degrees?
Too hot.
You know, it's not just too hot. Actually, the geckos are okay. I keep the eggs
Yeah.
here too. And when I keep the eggs at like 78 degrees with the gecko room, because I keep the eggs in the same room, they hatch way too fast. I like to keep them in there a little bit longer. They hatch like, man, in like 2 months. Sometimes a little bit earlier. I'm like, oh my goodness, the geckos are just popping out. So I try to keep it 75. It goes a little longer than the 2 months, and the geckos, the babies are bigger. So that's why 75 for everybody. That's kind of what I keep it.
So
And one more thing, make sure you miss daily. Hydration is very important. If you're going to keep these geckos a little bit warmer, make sure they're hydrated. Make sure they have enough water in their tanks, right?
and the other one on 2 is and miss.
Yep, I just
Daily.
said miss daily, exactly. Keep water in there, right? So
And then we're finally at 3.
number 3. What's number 3?
It says tank.
Tank size. Yes. So we did a whole video on tank size.
Yes.
It's important, guys, that you don't put little baby geckos, right? Tiny geckos, in a huge 18 by 24. We want to give these geckos a mansion, but the mansion comes with a drawback. If you put a little gecko in a big tank, it won't grow. They'll stay tiny, right? So little gecko, little tank, they find their food, they eat it. Simple. Keep your gecko as they grow the tank size with the gecko. If I know it's expensive, but if you use tubs, 6-quart tub, then you have the double high shoe box tub. Here, we got one here. I can show you guys this one.
Yep.
So you go from like the 6-quart here, right? You got the 6-quart, and then you got the bigger size up. So as they grow, and then you have the bigger ones. Yeah, and then you can decide what kind of forever home you want with these geckos.
Yeah.
So make sure you are letting your gecko grow with the tank. Don't put your gecko, your little gecko, in a giant tank. They won't grow. It just won't happen. They just won't eat enough, right? So that's that simple. So that was number 3. We are at number
4.
4.
So it says geckos. Gecko genetics.
Gecko genetics. Okay. Some geckos grow faster than others. You can pound these geckos with all the insects and all the powder diet in the world you want.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get babies that just take forever. Some of my babies, they'll take forever to get to 14 grams, and then bam, 14, they're just off, and they're really go through a growth spurt, right? So genetics. So some babies just grow, and they'll grow like 2 grams a month or more, 3 grams. Other geckos will take forever, 1 gram a month, and then all of a sudden they pack on like 15 grams in like 2 months, which is crazy. Super transformation. So just be patient with your geckos. That's what's very important. Be what? What did I say? Be patient with your geckos. Be patient with your geckos. Be patient with your kids. Love your kids, right? So What else we got? So that was number 4. Last one.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Wait, number 5 is.
When do you want to feed your geckos?
Uh-huh.
What time? What time do you want to feed your geckos? In the morning?
Yep.
In the morning? Like give them breakfast when they wake up? What are they doing in the morning when we wake up? They're sleeping, so why would we feed them while they're sleeping?
At night.
At night, yes! Why do you want to feed them at night?
Because they're awake, because they're nocturnal.
They're nocturnal, exactly. Come on, guys. Why are you going to feed them while they're sleeping, right? Do you eat while you're sleeping? Maybe. You know what I'll do? I'll bring a bowl of food while you're sleeping, and I'll feed you some food. What do you think?
Yeah.
So you won't wake up hungry.
That could be my breakfast.
I'd be like, Angelina, are you hungry? You'd be like,
Yeah.
no, I was eating all night, Daddy. You were feeding me while I was sleeping. This is what happens when we're not handling geckos. You get to see how we really act. So it's probably maybe a good thing that the gecko decided to go back in his cage because it was absolutely going bonkers.
Yeah.
Right. So when you don't have the geckos, you have us. I hope you guys enjoyed us. And our 5 things. What I'm gonna do is, because we're all over the board, I'm gonna write in the description the 5 things that I'm just gonna outline it real quick. So basically, what you want to do is feed your gecko, feed your gecko, feed your gecko. When they're not eating powder, eat the crickets, and they'll grow. I promise you, they'll grow. And sometimes they'll grow fast, sometimes they'll grow slow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just kind of
But
how.
if that's a way to make them grow a little faster, then
Yeah, just
don't just wait and
yeah, don't just throw food and walk away and it's dry for a week. Oh man, why is my gecko not growing? Well, because you can't eat dried gecko food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, my gecko's not growing. You know, you don't put any bugs in there, right? You have to put bugs. They eat bugs and gecko diet. It's 2 things, super simple, right?
Yeah, you could try feeding it, but if he doesn't eat, then put bugs.
And they'll eat the bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they don't eat the bugs, what happens?
Oh, now you're asking me?
Yeah.
I don't know what happens when they don't eat the bugs. Give me the secret. They don't grow, I guess.
Yeah.
They just stay tiny.
Yeah,
Forever. Yeah.
And
So-
never grow big like this.
So this is we're talking about crested geckos and kind of new gargoyle geckos, right? But let me tell you guys something. Those gargoyle geckos don't like bugs all the time. They're the ones that give me the hardest time. The crested geckos, if you're in the crested gecko world, they'll just chow. I've never had one crested gecko that won't eat bugs. Maybe one of you guys out there has that. But crested geckos will eat everything. They even eat dubias. With the trick is, okay, yeah, so let's do a little tip. If you start them off with dubia roaches, the little ones, they do like to hunt and grab, but if they know what the food is, I'll put and I always put it in the little deli cup, like the little food bowl. I'll put the dubias in there,
Just put
right?
a little clean food bowl.
Is there a clean food bowl there? So put 2 or 3 of these in there.
Yeah.
And with the babies, okay, and then have their little powder drink, because you're always going to do powder every day for little babies. And the little dubias will go in there and they'll crawl around real slowly, but the crested geckos, for whatever reason, they'll see that and they'll eat it. And if you if you have a colony of dubias, they'll eat it and they'll eat it and they'll eat it. If you start off with crickets, I noticed that they'll like and prefer the crickets, and then they won't eat the dubias.
Yeah.
But if you start off with dubias and you keep that dubia bowl in there, and they'll crawl around.
Yeah.
They associate the cup with the dubia, and they'll go in there and they'll eat it. And I've even had geckos sleep on the cup. They put their head on there waiting for more dubia roaches to come in there. So if you have a colony, try starting off with the dubias first, right? You're so cute. and then they'll probably end up you'll probably end up having a crested gecko that'll eat from your dubia colony forever. Now, we only talked about geckos growing. After 40 grams, that's a different story. Some geckos, my crested geckos, some of them won't even eat bugs anymore. And forget about the unless it's a breeding female gargoyle gecko, then I can get those to eat the bugs after they're about 50, 60 grams. But they just like the the crested gecko die after they're adults, most of them.
Yeah.
But if they eat the bugs, they'll eat the bugs. But we're just talking about this time growing, right? Growing out those geckos, and just be patient.
Yeah.
You know? There's nothing. You're not doing anything wrong if your gecko's still 10 grams, right? And it's like 9 months. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just whatever works for you. It all depends on the temperature and the humidity in your house and how you watering it. Just play around with things, and you'll get your gecko to grow, right? Yeah. That's why some people just feed straight bugs for 3-4 times a week. Yeah, they're gonna grow. Yeah, I mean, we never had to do that. We do, we can save a little bit on doing the bugs. I think that's it, right? Did we ramble on enough?
No.
Yeah, that's it. All right. What do you want to tell them? Yay?
No, more.
All right, guys.
Hey, one more thing.
What? Tell them. What?
If you have any questions, you could write it down below.
Yes. Any questions? Any videos you want to do? Just let us know, okay? And this time you just got us. We try to put the gecko on there. I hope you're enjoying our company. Let's just tell them. What else you want to tell them?
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button. Over and out. Thank you so much for visiting us over here at NCG Reptiles. Bye.
Bye.